All right. Here we go. Yes. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, it's going to be a great show tonight. Glad for all of you guys to be tuning in. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. I am your host, Troy Skinner, and this is my co-host,
Antonio Dean.
Yes.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, no doubt. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to us on the YouTube platform. Welcome to us on the Instagram platform. We have a great show in store tonight. An amazing show.
This is Pop Culture Night.
Yeah.
And News Week. News Night, whatever. Pick a name.
Yeah. You talk about everything on Thursdays in regards to what's going on in the news and also what's going on in the world. If it's something that's interesting and will create a great topic for us to have a conversation, then we will be talking about it tonight.
For sure.
So hopefully everyone's had a great day or your week is going well. I know myself personally, because of the change in weather, I'm a little up and down, but today I'm feeling great. My partner next to me, he's feeling great.
I went ahead and got some rest.
Yep.
I've been exercising. I've been talking shit about Melvin. I'm going to bring his dark side out. I hope he's listening. If he's not, at some point he's going to see this. Just know, Melvin, I'm going to fix you, nigga. Wherever you at, I'm going to fix you.
You're getting that therapy, brother. You're getting that therapy. So, yeah, I'm very grateful. My guys got together last night, and they brought in a bob. I don't know if you've ever seen a bob, but it's a training tool for martial artists, mostly for self-defense practitioners, and I'm definitely going to be putting it to use and, building things on that. So if I end up doing a self-defense seminar anywhere soon in your town, just know I'll be hauling in a bob.
The bob is the rubber Caucasian training apparatus.
Listen, you would think for all the time they had it that they, you know what?
Would have made a brown one.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the thing that they're staying away from.
And so I thought about that last night because remember the question I sent you. Yeah. I was gonna ask you that, but I was like, they probably don't want to get hit for that one.
Yeah.
If they had a brown one, and you know what
Call
I'm saying?
It Bobby.
The sales going crazy.
Put a goatee on it. Call it Bobby.
That's the last thing we need is fearful Caucasians buying the brown bob and beating the hell out of it.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Yeah.
So I went ahead and left that one alone. The other ideas though, we're gonna keep private because we might be able to make some money off of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Because we're constantly looking at ways of maybe bringing in that passive income.
Yes.
You should be doing that. Now, listen, you know what? I thought the other day, I said to myself, we had to have a show where we talk about finance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got people who I'm gonna talk to them.
Okay.
Because they're more astute than I am.
Okay.
I'm just a student at the end of the day.
Okay.
But for now.
No, I think we can talk about it and make it interesting and fun because I think the number one problem that a lot of people have is that when they're talking about finance, it can be boring to some people. It shuts them off, right, automatically. But I think with you at the helm, talking about it, and we can make a very interesting show about that, and it'll help a lot of people. Because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about what they should do with the money that they get or how can they increase their money. And you're very big at that. I mean, you've been a tremendous part of my life in helping me to see things and other people who I know in regards to that.
For sure.
If you're watching us, we are CMCT, Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. This is our show info. Our call-in is 404-997-2188. Our call-in is 404-997-2188. We are on Instagram, CMCT_show. Obviously, if you're watching me on Instagram, on my page, it is DarkCon2000. If you're watching
on my side, that's THE_DOSAGE.
Yes, pronounce this exactly how you see it, _dosage. Our YouTube is CMCT_show. You can see the ticker, which is right now happening on YouTube if you're on YouTube watching us live. Our Twitter is CMCT_show. Our email, if you have any questions or if you want to give us any show ideas, we take them. It is cmctshow@gmail.com. Again, that's cmctshow@gmail.com. And eventually we will have a TikTok. We just got a lot. Listen, we got a lot going on. We always in here talking
about team right now,
It's a lot. I mean, I got footage of us from what we did last week that I need to post on the Patreon because we do have a Patreon.
In due time.
Yeah, in due time. We have a Patreon as well. But right now, if you want to donate to us, you can donate to Darkon 2000 or our link tree.
Mine's is the link tree. If you Google Linktree, because Linktree doesn't have a .com.
Yeah.
But if you Google Linktree and put the dosage, I'll pop up. And then for yours, same thing, Darkon 2000?
No, for mine it's Darkon at, what is Linktree? Yeah, Darkon 2000.
Darkon 2000.
Yeah,
Darkon 2000 and the dosage, and that's DARKAN 2000. And the dosage, no space, no underscore. Just
yes, because I've had people say that they wanted to donate and they needed to know. And it's like our link trees are in our Instagram. And our link tree is also listed in our About page here on the YouTube. So if definitely you want to help us keep the lights on and keep things moving, equipment and things, you want to support us, we would greatly appreciate that.
Did you hook that there?
Did I hook?
Or we could hook it when it's time to...
for telephone?
Yeah.
Calls?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the only time we need to hear people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. My bad for interrupting.
No worries.
What's going on, my brother PJ?
Yeah.
Tuxedo Black. That's originally from Northern California. Originally from North Richmond. Lives in Sacramento. Check out his music. He just had a feature. Got a feature by Keek the Sneak. Dope artist.
Keek the Sneak. I've heard of him.
Come on, man.
I've heard of Keek the Sneak.
Don't get me educating the crowd about Oakland up in here. Come on.
I've heard of Keek the Sneak. Welcome, everybody. We're waiting for more people to come on in so we can get started. We have great topics tonight. A lot of the stuff you've heard about in the news, but we want to dig in. Make sure if you're on Instagram, you send us a DM and or a comment. And at any time, you're definitely welcome to chime in and come in live. And we like that. We like that a lot. But keep your comments and your statements short.
Please, yeah, you know what I'm saying. About 5 minutes total, man. We want to make sure we can get to everybody, you know. So,
okay. So let's get started. All right. A lot of you have obviously seen what's been going on with Puffy and Mase. Right? You've been hearing what's going on with Puffy and Mase. And it's been like the biggest thing in the news in this early part of the week. Now, the thing about it is this is an ongoing thing. This is not just something that just started recently. You know, Mase and Puff had been going back and forth. And it's wild because back in the 90s, they were so tight, man.
Allegedly. Well, you know what? I guess they were tight. They had them silver jumpsuits and all of that silly shit.
I think you got to be a little tight to look silly together. You know what I'm saying? You know? There's got to be some kind of camaraderie in order to look silly together. We want to know what your opinion is about that as we're sitting here talking about this. Make sure you chime in. Let us know what you think in regards to that situation. We'd love to know your opinion about it. But yeah, Mase and Diddy are going at it, man. They are just... And it's like, what gets me is when cats got money, why are you arguing?
Over money.
Over more money.
Over money.
Okay, I'll take that because sports players just be fighting just because, right?
Well, they got a lot of testosterone and competition.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that from sports players. They're a little aggressive, but
I got money. I ain't hitting nobody unless my life depends on it.
Yeah, you know. And training, teaching, of course.
Yeah,
but
I enjoy it then.
Those, I think the people who are not in competitive sports and such, man, what else do they have to do? We were just talking about it the other day, man. You get to a certain amount of money, they get bored.
That's true.
You start asking them Jamie Foxx questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna ask them. You know, we'll talk about that another time. But I'm never gonna get to that amount of boredom. I'm never gonna get tired of the normalcy.
It's not that serious, right? Yeah, it's not that serious. It never is. Anyway, we're gonna look at Puffy Mase's. Who?
Mario's grandfather.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing, Pops? We're gonna look at what Mase said, so we can get an idea about it. Let's turn these to these so that our people can see.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
let's check this out real quick.
If you haven't already seen it, let me show you what's going on.
You see the hot sauce. It is what it is.
Yeah, we hood in here sometimes. We keep it real. Just like Spice. That's what it is.
Straight up.
All right, here we go.
It should be on the TV.
Your mother got the receipts, nigga. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipts, nigga. You need more proof, nigga? Biggie ain't here, so Big can't give you no receipts. He dead.
Looking like
Craig
the baby.
Mack can't give you receipts.
Damn
He dead.
near.
What are you talking about? Who else? Black Rob can't give you receipts. He dead. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts. You're not signing, nigga. Because I ain't need the money. All money ain't good money. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that, nigga. You know who you play with, nigga.
Murder Mase. Out.
Yeah, Murder
You know what I'm
Mase.
saying?
Yo, that's the new. You said it when we were setting
Remember
up the
that,
show.
nigga.
Yeah, that's the next. That's the next. That is definitely
the next big meme or something. It's
Yeah,
gotta
that's
be.
definitely the next meme for sure.
My nigga, he said, nigga, remember that.
Yeah, you better recognize and remember that. It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious to see that these. What are they like?
They're not short for money, man.
I mean, Puff is like 50, like 51, 52.
Gotta be. He gotta be up there.
Murder Mase, I
Mase,
think
he's at least 40.
he's in his 40s for sure.
At least 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what do you think about what he said, in regards to the receipts? What does he mean by the receipts? What do you think?
Contracts.
Contracts?
Yeah,
Mhm.
contracts. Contracts, and then I'm sure, because like you said, this has been going on for years now, not even just since 2020.
Right.
People, or Puffy's artists have been dealing with him legally really since he first started.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So more than likely, man, he's talking about whatever time and paperwork they've dealt with in court, and definitely talking about these contracts, because for Diddy, I think it's a bit absurd for Diddy to claim that someone owes him $30 million.
Right, yeah, it's
We talking about royalties, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying. He was definitely one of the first adopters of that 365 deal, and so he's probably really upset. He's probably really upset about that more than likely. You know.
Well, listen. I mean, I was in the entertainment industry for a long time in regards to the music game. The music game was the nickname for Puffy is Vampire. You know what I mean? They call him Vampire, and it was.
What does that mean?
The Locks went on radio and said he was a vampire.
First ones that outed him.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we always had rumblings in the industry about him robbing cats. Basically, he had the title of producer, and all he would do is just go in and change a hi-hat. And so he was like, I'm produced by Puffy.
He was also in every single video.
Yeah.
He was in videos.
Yeah.
He was in posthumous videos that the actual artist wasn't in.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you, Focus. Appreciate it. Yeah. No, we knew Stevie J did a lot of the production of the Bad Boy movement. He was pretty much the main producer, one of the main producers. I mean, he had other guys, but that was the running thing. Like you go into studio, you put your product down, and then Puffy comes in, he listens to it, and he puts a hi-hat cymbal down, a loop. And
Yeah,
then,
y'all niggas ain't doing it right.
right, yeah, it's the hi-hat, that's everything.
I got the answer.
So I can only imagine, the drama with that. But for a long time, he was noted as a vampire. The Locks went on. I think it was the morning show, and said that he was a vampire.
Oh, Sway?
Yeah, and said he was a vampire, and that's what they called him. So there was even memes that came out with Puffy dressed like Count Dracula,
Hella funny.
Count Chocula. Was it? Remember?
Silly as hell. I like that. What else we got? My bad. I'm getting everything coordinated over
Hey,
here.
Janessa, what's going on? Welcome to the show. If you guys are just tuning in, we are talking about Puffy and the Puffy and Mase. What it would be static. The Puffy and Mase static.
Upset at each other over $30 million.
Is it 30 or is it 3?
I thought it said 30. Is it 3?
I'm not sure.
I mean, either way, man. These niggas, even if it's 3, it's even more ridiculous.
Yeah, it's money, right? It's money. Let's see for sure. Puffy and Mase.
I can pull it up.
Yeah. Excuse me. Puffy and Mase.
How about that chess, Eric? How about that chess? Just saying.
Yeah, it's 3 mil. It's 3 mil. It's so basically how it started was that she said what? Yeah, right. How it started was that Diddy had came out and said that Mase owes Diddy $3 million.
Which is hysterical.
You know, that's like, wow, okay, he owes him $3 million. And that's basically what the argument has been. And Mase is pretty much exposing him, and that's why, hey, what's going on, Daft? That's why Mase is coming back with that harsh. That was a harsh retort. I mean, you bring somebody mama in it, right? He's like, your mama got the receipt.
Well,
right?
he said that the Diddy got a lot of that shit, or whatever it was
His
that they're
mama
talking
name.
about originally in his mom's name, which is probably true. They from that era.
Yeah.
That's when they was messing around, you know, or
Right.
doing business together. Rather, I don't know if they was messing
But
around.
even so, like, I mean, you know, Puffy's so paid over and over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we could easily say that, you know, we know that $3 million is a hell of a lot of money. But for Puff, that's a drop
For
in the
them,
bucket.
for either
right?
of them, it's probably no fucking.
Right, yeah, right. It's a drop in the bucket for Puff. So why now? Is it you think it's just to stay relevant? Because I think sometimes when we hear this stuff, it's because if you know anything about these guys, they've been back and forth several times arguing.
Since the
okay,
90s.
yeah. I mean, let's see here, argue. All right, and so you had let's see.
I've seen a couple of those interviews.
Yeah. So, see, Mase said that Diddy is still robbing and enslaving artists. This is 2020. 2020. And then he wrote a song called Go Ask Puff. Mase sends a message to Diddy following the diss song. 112 came out, and they had said on Puffy is not initially liking something. So this, Puffy's defense argues case driven by greed.
And I think there was a thing with Mase where, which is, he accepted it, so really it's his fault, but Puff paid him like $20K for his publishing in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, a lot of guys got robbed for their publishing. A lot of guys. And then you see another one that says Mase tells all about his relationship with Puff and life of sex with other men. Ooh, and women. I didn't know that was coming. Drugs and the so-called gangster life, which led Mase to fear his own life. So they've been going back and forth for a while. So yeah, Janessa said trying to stay relevant. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
think
if
that's
they
what it
got
is.
projects or something coming, who knows?
Probably.
You know?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
Even though they got all that money, I think I was listening to Mike Tyson. He's like, I didn't give a fuck about the money. He's like, I'll give you all my money if you tell me I'm great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about people, man. Money, although it's helpful, definitely helpful. It's not everything. You know, you get to a certain place where I'm sure they do get lonely.
Yeah.
You know, and they're around a bunch of motherfuckers who trying to figure out, like, how can I get some of the money you got? Or
True.
How can we use you to make more money? And you know, in so many different ways. So
True.
it's probably just not healthy for any of them, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have any comments on this, please chime in. And Mase. Jesus paid it all. Good one, Janessa. True indeed. Yeah, true indeed. Well, you know, Mase he used to actually pastor a church. And I remember that. He had pastored a church, and he had got in gospel. Now he's looking like the baby with the he got the grill, right? He looks like the baby
does,
when we was
quite a
looking at
bit.
that. He looked like the baby. So I think he might be dropping a new single, and maybe Mase Puffy's gonna be dropping
TV show. I mean, Diddy was just doing something. You know, he got all these women and shit. He doing whatever with, and they were just arguing on some, you know, on the Black Fox, basically, whatever that channel is on. On the free
Soul.
TV, Soul.
Yeah.
Fox Soul.
Fox Soul.
Going back and forth with some chick, you know what I'm saying? Just his name is always out there, you know. So whatever the fuck they were arguing about, people that was just really big here about a month or so ago. Who knows what it is he's working on? He might just be trying to get traction for that show,
Yeah.
at the very least.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No telling.
All right. Well, if you got an opinion about this, Pastor Mase,
Feel free to chime in and talk about Diddy's
beef.
Rambunctiousness.
Yeah, beef. Yeah. Their beef in regards to $3 million. Like, we can sit and
that's
talk
investment
about
money.
it. It is. Listen,
Investment money.
that money could do so much for the black community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as you're not just giving people stuff, like programs can be made where they can last. I mean, what do you think? An average program with, say, for instance, you cut that $3 million up. You say 500,000, 500. Like, let's just go with that number. How long do you think that program would be able to help?
Depends where it's located. You know, what are we giving out? How is it that we're actually, subsidizing these people or this group of people, this community, this area? Even though just there's so many things that goes into that, man. But even a donation to, maybe not even a school board, but a specific school, one of the school specific programs, like for sports or their their art class or their drama studio. So many different things it can go towards. Man.
But it would help.
Oh yeah,
it would definitely help.
Especially wholesale.
She said he better sit down somewhere. An artist that just passed you, just passed, got to run in his mouth, and well, people know when to chill, in my opinion. Yeah, you know what? Listen, these two guys, it won't ever get that serious. I mean, Mase was coming out of his neck with what he was saying. It was funny to me because
it's funny because of where he's probably somewhere downtown New York or some shit.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be talking that shit. He had his grilling,
the
pastor, whatever.
So he needs to go and watch our episode from Tuesday night on hypocrisy.
I'm just saying.
Hopefully you guys caught that one. Hopefully you've been catching our shows. We've been posting them on Facebook and on YouTube. We've been doing them.
So there's the information on the whatever that shit was with Diddy on Fox Soul.
Okay.
Diddy has said he's single and dating a rapper from the City Girls. She has a huge YouTube show now, and people are calling her his puppet because he owns the channel. From her understanding,
he owns Fox Soul?
No. I think the
one
YouTube,
of the channels on Fox Soul.
Calling her his puppet. Does he own Fox Soul, or you're saying he owns her YouTube channel? Like he's controlling it? I'm pretty sure that was his money. I did see something like that. He whatever the fuck he lined her up with.
Diddy, you're too old to be out there having beef with people, man. Let it go. Let it go. I'm serious. And Mase just...
No one is too old to make noise in the media.
Yeah, especially when it comes to wanting that attention. All right, so we're moving on. We are moving on. The next topic of discussion, okay? Welcome, Mr. Alex Hampton. The next topic of hey, Alex, I'm going to watch your YouTube clip today. I saw you have that YouTube. I'm going to watch that, man. I was getting ready for the show today, and I had some stuff to deal with. Oh, by the way, for all of you who are listening,
noted.
Just to give you an advanced knowing of what's about to happen, we are officially going to be locking in distribution for A New Life.
Beautiful. Very
so
beautiful.
If you know anything about what I do as a filmmaker, it's the last film that I just did. And this in the can. And we are about to have this film released in February. So for mostly Valentine's Day during Black History Month. Best time to release it. And you'll hear more about that in time. You had something you needed to drop last time and you didn't.
Oh, look, man, for the last month and a half, I've been dropping songs every Thursday on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. And I just, I forgot to mention it because I'm just gearing up to drop an even bigger project here, probably closer to November or December. But shit ton of songs on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Tidal, all of the platforms at the dosage.
Support independent artists.
I'm 100% independent. Every penny out of pocket.
Right. Support us, please. Please don't forget artists. So we're moving on. In the news, another situation, right? In the news, another situation we're dealing with is this situation. And we're about to show our Instagram Live viewers what we're talking about. But YouTube, they're seeing it right now. We know all about this here, this trash, okay? And you guys already know about Kanye West. Oh, in the news again. And this is the issue with beta black men. Kanye West faces backlash for wearing shirt with White Lives Matter slogan. And this is him and Candace Owens. And it says Kanye West faces backlash for wearing shirt with racist White Lives Matter slogan alongside controversial conservative commenter. Jesus, that was 3 C's in a row. No, it's 4 C's. Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, run that back.
Alongside controversial conservative commenter Candace Owens at his Paris fashion show. So it was at his show. That, to me, I didn't even know that. That makes it even worse.
I mean, it's his show, shit.
Okay, and see, and this is the thing that's bullshit to me. It says racist White Lives Matter slogan. Do you think that that's racist to say White Lives Matter?
Well, although Black Lives Matter is not ours, it's owned by George Soros, a white man. Mm-hmm. They were saying that was racist. Now we can get all the way down into the discussion of what racist means, what racism is. Mm-hmm. But I mean, again, just some asshole wrote this article, so who cares? Is it racist? I doubt it.
So, Nomadic Nobody said he loves Candace. I don't know. We normally on the same page.
I don't know about that one.
I think she's one of the worst attention seekers ever made on the planet. I think, I don't even believe that she believes in what she's saying. It's just the means for her to get the attention that she's getting.
I mean, we're talking about people who are under the strings of the orchestrators and puppeteers, man.
Yes.
There's no telling. I have to tell my people this all the time. There's no telling what amount of this is actually genuine.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What are they being paid for?
Yes.
What are how is it they're actually being instructed? So
yes.
We'll never know.
Yeah. Nomadic Nobody, you asked the question why. I'm going to get to that in a second because I'm pretty sure your question of why is why do I feel what I feel about her? But Antonio just elaborated some, and I think he's right on the money with that. I think she's a puppet. A lot of people that you see in the media are puppets. Kanye's a puppet. Kim was his handler. He loses his programming from time to time, and that's why he's always off the charts. So this is one of those situations where it's made to throw people off because how they move the masses is they get us angry. They get us emotionally charged. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see so much clickbait nowadays and so much trolling in the news and media. But anyway, it says West and Owens not only show support for White Lives Matter. I didn't even know that existed, honestly. I had no idea that. We don't even know if it's a real organization. Yeah. Cop Lives, I know that the Blue Lives Matter. Yeah, but I didn't even know White Lives Matter was an organization or anything. But they were also critical of the Black Lives Matter movement. After Monday's fashion show, Owens posted photos of her outfit on her Instagram story. One post appeared to be a screenshot of a story from West's account, which read, "Everyone know that Black Lives Matter was a scam now. It's over. You're welcome."
I mean, it was a scam.
The story is no longer on West's account. So he put it up and then he took it down.
I mean, stories only last 24 hours. Let's be fair about that.
Yeah, right. Black Lives Matter gained national attention, blah, blah, blah. Michael Brown, a teenager. No, it didn't. George Floyd really put the fire to it. You know,
for sure.
Michael Brown was long before Black. See, I mean, look, how is that? George Floyd, 2020, 2014. See, so you got to be careful when you read these blurbs. Look at that.
I'm about to say, as Dick Gregory says, all you got to do is read what it is that they're saying, listen to what it is that they're saying. They always tell them themselves. Mm-hmm. There is no perfect lie.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I never heard of Black Lives Matter before George Floyd. So if they existed at 2014 during Michael Brown, you never
did.
see them, did they?
Yeah, it was, and I know that because I was dealing with a lot of politically opinionated Caucasian men in my office when I was in the Air Force.
Okay.
Part of the reason I got in trouble and shit.
So they didn't have the grand.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all just really stirring up and getting bigger. That was around the time of the police shootings in Dallas.
So
That
Soros,
was like 2015.
yeah, went in and did that then. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So the Black Lives Matter movement is meant to dismantle a system that was designed to criminalize black people. What? That was designed to criminalize poor people and people of color and other oppressed people. One of its founders, Alicia Garza, told CBS News in 2020. That's not what their mission statement says.
That's definitely not what their mission statement says.
At all.
And we can pull that up afterwards.
Yeah. Many activists condemned West's shirt in comments. Mark Lamont Hill, an activist, author, and professor, tweeted that West's decision to wear a White Lives Matter shirt is disgusting, dangerous, and irresponsible. Well, Lamont Hill he's another
He's
one.
in and out, bro.
He's another
very
one too.
in and out.
Yeah. Kanye West's decision to wear a White Lives Matter shirt is disgusting, dangerous, and irresponsible. Some of y'all rush to defend him. You should ask yourselves why. Now, there's some point in what he's saying, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Because we talked about that. So
Yeah. We'll get to that.
All right. The shirt may be a troll move or marketing. I believe that. Oh, but see, look, this Jamel Hill. See, so look at what they do. You see how they make them all shift gears?
Yeah.
Everybody's shifting gears because normally she would attack him and not so much the movement of what he's doing.
Yep.
Because Jamel Hill is a man hater. I know that for a fact. Although some of West's past songs shed light on racism and the mistreatment of black people, he has come under fire for some of his statements in recent years. During a 2018 interview with TMZ, West said slavery wasn't real. He also made headlines. He also made headlines in 2018 for meeting with then President Donald Trump several times and wearing "Make America Great Again" hat. The ultimate troll, in my opinion, most people consider this guy an artist. He is when it comes to music, but in other things, political and stuff, he should stay out of it. And I could care less about what Kanye West says on a regular day.
So, let's see.
What do you guys think? What do you think? Opinions, thoughts? I see some of you already chiming in here. That's why I said the whole thing is a joke. The media preys on emotion. I refuse to play. Yes, Nomadic Nobody, I agree. They should get married, and hopefully it ends like the War of Roses. Good one, Janessa. Very good, yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody could be with those two people. So them being together would probably be So, Nomadic Nobody, are you saying you love Candace as sarcasm, or you love her because of what she says in your mind is
profound?
Yeah, because I need to know for a fact, because there's nothing that, I mean, what she says, there's some truth to what she says, but if she's used as a tool for systematic racism and or to get white people, you see what I'm saying, riled up.
It's to get black people riled up.
And to piss off black people.
There's always some contention being created and, fostered between all races in the media.
Mm-hmm.
That's all about. That's what it is. It's always trouble being stirred between races.
Yeah, and honestly, listen, the thing about Kanye West for me is that they give him the ability to do this shit. And I'm not just talking about the powers that be. I'm talking about his audience, because you remember I sent you that photo of you would think that Kanye West is a millionaire over and over because
he's a billionaire.
A billionaire. That's right. Thanks for correcting me. He sells those clothes. The people buy that stuff. They actually buy it. I was at the airport one time and I saw a guy wearing those shoes, and I took a picture and sent it to Antonio. We just laughed our ass off because I'm like, that dude paid almost $300 for those pair of shoes.
Probably more, depending on which style of them they were. But I want to talk about that because this is the argument that I always have.
Okay.
I believe that was 2015. Actually, shit, it might have been longer. 2013 or 2014.
Mm.
When Kanye West went on Sway's Universe.
You talking about the slavery thing?
No.
No?
That really famous interview where he was talking about you don't have the answer, Sway, or you ain't got the answer, Sway.
Mm-hmm.
That interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason that they got into that argument is because Sway was trying to talk, and I love Sway. That's an Oakland nigga, but you know what I'm saying? Bullshit is bullshit. And he was trying to talk Kanye West down from what he said his grand plan was, which was, I'm going to make, and this is paraphrasing, don't quote me. Go and watch the interview yourself. But he was saying, I'm going to make whatever the fuck I want to make for fashion and sell it at the highest price that I can so that independent fashion designers actually have a chance at breaking into this industry. That was his entire argument, his entire premise for a majority of that interview. And Sway was trying to shoot him down. How you gonna get materials to these people? How you gonna do X, Y, Z?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
That was where that whole argument between them came from.
Yeah, I remember that.
What did Kanye go and do?
Everything
How
he said,
many independent Black designers do you see in the world right now?
Yeah. Now, listen, on in that respect, I definitely appreciate that. You know, I have no problem when it comes to a young Black brother or sister making their money and going against the odds.
But he made the lane easier for them.
Yeah, and I'm not.
So we could talk shit about his shoes, about him having.
No. That's
you know,
that's not
trash
the point.
bag clothes
No,
and all of that.
yeah, that's not the point that I'm making because I'm not going to wear it and I'm not going to buy it.
But that's a part of the big argument that people make is like he's insane. Look at the shit that he's
making.
No.
Nigga, you even remember me saying I said he was a genius in that respect.
Yeah.
Like, and I totally as a musical artist, I believe he has genius ability. And in that respect, I believe he has genius ability.
But I'm not even talking about music. I'm talking about his business
fashion
moves.
Yeah, his business acumen. Absolutely, I agree.
His business moves are fucking crazy.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
He's really making room for anybody to come in.
Yeah.
If he's has one of the largest fashion platforms, and he's showing y'all shit that clearly looks like trash. Yep, Kanye. He's showing y'all shit that literally looks like it came out of the fucking garbage. What does that mean for other independent fashion designers? Any fucking body can get in.
That's true.
Niggas can charge whatever price they want. Nobody can argue me down about that. And if everybody knows the soundbite, you ain't got the answer, Sway, nigga, go watch the actual interview and see what Kanye is saying and why him and Sway fell out in that interview.
Well, he knew something that Sway didn't know, and I agreed with him at the time when he was talking. Kanye had a whole generation of people behind him. And anytime you have that, it's kind of like there's a guy who has a comic book. His name is Young Ripper, right? And a lot of people who are liberal-minded, because, you know, Young Ripper is and I hate talking about politics, but it's important to get the story across. Young Ripper is what you would call, he's not a conservative or it's not independent, but it's another word. He's not a conservative or a Republican or he's it's a patriot. It's something. But he's not conservative or liberal. He's not Republican or conservative or Republican or Democratic. He's very much against that system of movement. But a lot of people says he's a conservative. They sometimes will call him a coon, like Candace Owens, because of his thought process. So I'm going to get to that, Nomadic, because you said, I'm serious, she goes against the narrative. She's the common sense and facts. She uses common sense and facts. Of course, she's inflammatory, but if she wasn't, then she wouldn't get airtime. No, she's inflammatory because you're right. It gives her airtime. It gives her attention, and that's the most important thing for her. But I'm going to get into that deeper because I want to stick on Kanye West for a second. Young Ripper created a comic book, and his whole thing was like, this comic book I create is not going to be based on liberal agenda and or woke content or pandering. I'm just going to make a great comic book. And he did, and he used his own money. He did pre-orders, but the comics were already being made. And he sold over $3 million worth of comics.
Yeah.
And the people who would normally be the ones that you expect to support him were black people. They were in comments saying, "Oh, he's a coon, and I don't believe in his politics, so screw him. I'm not supporting him." Blah 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 blah. But these are the same people that will go out and buy Kanye West clothes and support Kanye West, and he's doing stuff like this, and they'll forgive him. And so, what I'm saying is, Kanye West, absolutely, he's a genius. He's a musical genius. He's a fashion icon and a fashion genius. I'm not wearing his clothes. I'm not spending money on it.
That. Go ahead.
I don't have the money anyway. But the problem that I have is because he has that generation, there's a responsibility on how you move that generation. And that's the issue that I would have with him. So a lot of times, him and several other people, I don't even pay attention to it. I paid attention to it because this week I'm looking for stuff to talk about tonight. And I was like, Jesus, Kanye, thank you. Thank you for this information. You know what I'm saying? That's my deal. And so, yeah, she said trash. He, you know, stay away from that stuff. Now, maybe that's part of his ploy to stay relevant, because how relevant will you be other than, you know, he's going back and forth with the Gap. That's been in the news.
If you're someone who's 100% helping black people,
Mm-hmm.
it will not be long before you are not being paid any attention to.
Okay. I mean, so I guess we got to wait it out to see what happens, because
this is the thing about when we're reviewing these things, and, you know, a lot of us, we get emotionally invested. We invest a lot of our time and our focus into what it is that these celebrities are doing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the hell Kanye's purpose was behind wearing that shirt. We don't know what Candace Owens. We don't know what her purpose was behind wearing those shirts. We don't know what their agenda actually is.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we do agree that they're puppets.
Sure, but we still don't know what their agenda is.
Yeah, we don't know
So
what the long
here.
con is.
It's hard to sit here and convict him. For all we know, he could be secure and funding, because Kanye, like many other, you know, huge celebrities, a lot of them do a shit ton of philanthropy that nobody talks about.
True, that's very true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
very true,
That
yeah.
White Lives Matter shirt could be funding some black schools. Like, it could be going towards, and again, I'm giving an alternate perspective, because at the end of the day, everybody has an opinion. Everybody's upset because they seen the picture. But at the end of the day, we really don't know. We have no idea.
This is the thing. So if that's the case, should we care?
Care about what? Their actions?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't affect me. I ate dinner that night. You know what I'm saying? I might have got a little psychedelic, you feel me? And they got trained, and I went to sleep and woke up the next day.
Okay, right, good.
Nothing had changed.
Very good. So, in my opinion, what makes us different from people who get triggered and they repost it and they get upset? Because I think, you know, change your mind, change your thinking. The format of what we're doing is giving people a form in which to converse about things that, you know, may be tough for some people. How do we help those people who are triggered by that?
It's not your business.
No, but I'm saying
I'm saying that to them.
Oh, okay.
It's not your business.
Okay.
If it's not stopping you from getting paid, if it's not shutting your lights off, nigga, making your gas more expensive, any of those things, if it's not doing any of that, then why the fuck does it actually matter?
That's the true power.
They're affecting my kids. Well, guess what? You have control over what your kids watch.
That's right.
At the end of the day.
That's right. I agree.
You don't have to give a 4 or 5, a 10 or 15-year-old a fucking phone. You don't have to give them tablets. You don't have to give them access to the internet. There's still libraries. Books still work. There's still bicycles. There's a shit ton of things. The world outside never stopped just because life got more convenient with technology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The outside world never stopped. Mm-hmm. Real life happens outside.
Yeah.
So that is 100% on the people and the younger people that they're raising.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have to have that accountability. It always goes back to accountability.
It goes
guys.
back to self.
Yeah, to self-accountability. Absolutely. Absolutely. It always goes back to that. And I think sometimes people don't realize that.
Yeah, that might be the food. And I say it all the time. I just want to put this out there. You know, I love doing this show with, you know, my brother, man, and interacting with everybody and helping offer, you know, different perspective. You know this. If it wasn't for this show, going and looking at these blurbs and reading these articles, I wouldn't be doing none of that. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
That is definitely not his thing.
Look, I stopped watching the news when I was 15. I stopped listening to the radio when I was about 12. Because I just don't care. And guess what? My life is peaceful for the most part.
Yeah.
90%, probably 95% of my life is pretty damn peaceful. Nigga, my money is right enough. It ain't where I want it to be, but it's right enough. I can eat. You know what I'm saying? I can feed the people that I'm close to.
Put gas in the car, go back and forth.
And guess what? I don't watch the news. I keep myself aware of what's going on in the world for the most part. But nigga, I'm not stressing over the news, bro. I'm not chasing none of this shit down. You gotta calm down, man. We gonna welcome in all of this crazy shit. And guess what? You could just turn the TV off, nigga. You can go look up a different YouTube video. It's your choice.
Yeah. And so Janessa said, here's what I think is dumb. When you're triggered by something and repost it or promote it, make it make sense. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's true. That's very true. And nomadic nobody. Yeah, self-accountability, 100%. Yeah, that's one of our phrases from CMCT. Definitely self-accountability. We're going to be using that a lot. Back to what you were asking about nomadic nobody. I'm big to say to people, hey man, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Candace Owens, she's far and few from my thoughts. I don't even think about her. And it was so odd that they paired her and Kanye up together. You know what I'm saying?
Not much.
It's part of the trigger.
I don't see what's odd about it. At the end of the day, again, his show, you know what I'm saying? His platform, the shirts, his money, all of that. We have no idea what was the purpose for any of it. All we can do is speculate. And we start speculating, we know how rumors work. That's all social media is.
Yeah.
It's the full platform for the rumor mill. Plain and simple. I'll be right back, nigga. I gotta grab this food real quick. My brother Marquise, what's going on? Welcome.
So what we have to be mindful of in regards to how we deal with this stuff is correcting others who have a false perception, because it will affect what they do. Does affect the thought process of people who feed into it. So a lot of people who have people from different cultures, they see those people as how we think, okay? But it's all part of what triggers you. So you have to work on that, and you have to be quick to be able to help people who don't understand or know better to realize that they don't speak for you. You know what I mean? If you're listening to a Kanye West CD or, a song, doesn't mean that you believe in what he believes. So you have to be very upfront about that with people. So yeah. I mean, going back to what Antonio just said, man, it doesn't matter to me, but we're just talking about it. With that being said, we're coming close to the end of the first hour. We need some of you guys to come on in and talk, man.
Call in,
call in, do some live. Become a part of what's going on with this, because these subjects are really interesting. We got something else that happened in the news recently.
What was that?
The mock auction.
Oh man, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
That was a viewer recommendation, by the way.
Yeah. Viewer recommendation. And this situation this did trigger me. It did trigger me somewhat, because for me, I was just like, what's wrong with our youth to where they don't realize that their actions in regards to this is harmful to the culture? You know what I mean? Okay, so nomadic nobody wants to come in. We get them in for a second.
Bring them on in. Oh shit, my bad, y'all. I'm checking on shit. All right, we good.
So we're talking about the Kanye thing, I'm pretty sure. What's up, man?
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're good. We're good tonight, man. We're rocking tonight, man. It's a really good show, isn't it?
Oh man, I love it. Tune in every chance I get.
That's great. It's great to have you on board, man. What's your statement?
So you kind of were going or talking about a little bit about left and right and all that.
Oh boy.
I vote independent.
Oh, you're
2016,
you're an independent.
Gary Johnson.
Okay.
With libertarian.
Okay, and thank you for. I couldn't remember the word, but that's what.
Oh boy.
Yes,
Young Ripper.
yes, the Young Ripper. He's a libertarian. So you're a libertarian or you're independent?
I'm a registered libertarian, but
And what is your belief? So for people who don't know what that is, because a lot of people don't know what a libertarian is.
the best way it's usually described is it's kind of like the best of both Democrat and Republican. So on the Democrat side, it's socially liberal, but it's financially conservative, right? So you're socially accepting of everybody's rights and whatnot. But when it comes to finances and money, you want to take care of your own and you want to have a good economy and whatnot.
You're minding
Gary
your
Johnson,
business.
I voted for Gary Johnson mostly because of what I think it was New Mexico or something. When he was governor there, he did not raise taxes and he reorganized the taxes to be more efficient. And so when I saw him up for election, I'm like, fuck, I don't want any more taxes.
Okay,
So,
okay. Make sure you keep it just pertaining to Candace and Kanye. We don't want to talk too much about politics.
okay. Well, then I got it.
Why don't you elaborate more on Candace? Because you said you like Candace and you believe in what she's saying.
I do enjoy Candace. I enjoy her. So, it's kind of hard to talk about Candace without touching on politics. So, in America, minorities are assumed to be Democrat, on the left side. Being out in the world, most minorities kind of lean the other way. It's only until they get to America that they're told to, be Democrat. And so I think she goes against the narrative and she says, well, hey, wait a minute, why do we think this? Or why is it like this? And she's inflammatory. But I think the majority of minorities are either told to lean one way or think one way.
Well, most of them are raised Democratic. Most black people are raised Democratic. Most black people are raised Democratic. We come up in households, and that's from
we believe that gives us rights.
Well, yeah, but it comes from, back when in the 60s that they were planning to get black people from being Republican to becoming Democratic. Mm-hmm. That is a factual thing. It was.
It actually comes from before that with the Civil War.
With the Civil War,
before
absolutely.
Republicans were Democratic, ideally, and Democrats were Republican, ideally.
Maybe some other facts to consider.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Democrats that founded the KKK. It's the Democrats that had the.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Everybody wants to bring up the party switch, but the party switch didn't actually happen. It wasn't until I think like the 80s that minorities were actually allowed to be Democrats. It was Lyndon B. Johnson and
Right, but Lyndon B. Johnson was in the 60s during the.
Was it 60s?
Yes, yes. Civil rights movement.
And he was an evil motherfucker.
He said he would have black people voting Democratic. That was his job.
For the next 200 years. And yeah, he used
The battery?
the derogatory word.
Yeah. 1 second, please. Sorry.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
So Lyndon B. Johnson said, I'll have them, fill in the blank, voting Democrat for the next 200 years. So I find it hard to I don't know. It's kind of surprising to think
Well, you have to understand you have to understand the issue with, and we're calling them minorities, but they're actually the majority. Let's be clear about that.
I agree.
They're more than 80% of the United States. However, the issue is the lack of education, the lack of understanding and options. You know, most minorities don't know what all of their options are. They don't know everything that they're afforded here in America. They're not given, you know, the guidance and direction to say, you know what, let me actually educate myself politically. Let me educate myself systemically. You know, we only know and tend to care about what our immediate issues are, because that's the heaviest shit that's going on in our life right now. You know, we can't expect people who are carrying so much on their back to make sure that they take time out of surviving to also go and educate themselves on things that they can't even reach out and touch. I didn't say that it's impossible. I said you can't. That fucking hour. Yep. But I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that you can't expect that to be the first thought in these people's minds.
Yeah. I think people don't realize that because a lot of people are independent in their thought process. So they don't realize
the plus.
Yeah, they don't realize that they have to. What's going on here?
Go back, hit the plus. And then it should let you pick live or whatever. Yeah, there you go.
They don't realize. So I guess I didn't figure out the issue.
It's still tripping?
Yeah. Well,
no live option.
I had
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for the to get it past the hour. I don't know what that shit is, man. We'll figure it out though.
Sorry about that. Nomadic Nobody. You can call back and we'll give you another minute to finish off and top off your conversation. But yeah, you know, listen, it's one of those things where, and my apologies to everybody else. If you,
we over here now, my nigga. We tried.
Totally disconnected. There he is. He's coming back. Okay.
Yeah, we'll figure that hour thing out
eventually. If you know anything, please let me know because I don't know.
He didn't switch his account to
everything.
2 or 3 different types at this point, and still can't get it to run.
Yeah, sorry about that, but you know that's been an ongoing issue with us. Yeah. So no, listen. We'll give you one more minute to top it off and to finish everything off. But in regards to political parties and stuff, like I said, I don't want to stay too much on that. I just wanted to get mostly your view on Candace and how you feel that she benefits the community, black community in particular, because that's who she is seen as representing, even though we never appointed her.
I don't think anybody really appoints anybody, and there's always going to be opposition to anybody who kind of.
Not anymore. I mean, black people as a community was very big.
We champion individuals. We may not appoint them, but we definitely champion them.
We especially during the civil rights movement, and after Jesse Jackson, that was it pretty much. You know, we don't ask Al Sharpton to go out there and represent us, but he does. You know, so
we'll have to talk about him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But go ahead, brother.
I just like her because inflammatory. She whether you like her opinion or not, she gets people talking. Right? She gets people thinking.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like her opinion. I just don't like what she's all about because I know that she's a puppet. And I know that she's a trigger. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where what she says sometimes I totally agree with. You know what I mean? Like we have to be accountable as a culture. If, you know, guys are going out there impregnating girls and not taking advantage of, you know, being a father or helping with the household, then yeah, they should be held accountable. And the girls should be held accountable as well. So I've heard her say that, but, you know, she says it in a sense because she's propped up by specific people. You see what I'm saying? I said she's propped up by specific people to trigger and to also get the white right to be like, yeah, you see, here's this person saying the truth. We love her.
These are black people's actual problems. Shit.
Yeah, you understand?
What's that? That's trash.
Right, and so that's the issue that I have with her. You know, not that what she's saying isn't right. You know.
I hear you.
Right.
Yeah, no,
you like this? She's asking the hard questions.
Did you hear that, Nomadic? He said.
No, I didn't hear you, Antonio. I saw you.
Do you are you saying that you like that she asked some of the difficult questions?
Absolutely. She
Yeah. I think that's important too. That's definitely important.
difficult places.
Mhm.
Whether her end message is, this or that, I don't know, but I like the fact that hey, let's talk about some of the things we're not talking about.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah, we're in agreement on that. You have a good one, brother.
You too. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
You got
Have a
it.
good night.
How do I get out of this?
we got everybody on here that didn't grow up in the 2000s. Be trying to figure out this Instagram
Yeah,
shit.
man. It's funny.
I don't like
Hilarious.
seeing myself. How do I get out of this?
I got you. See you later, brother.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah, thanks for chiming in, guys. We're at our 1 hour mark. And once again, forgive if you get disconnected off my live because for whatever reason, after an hour, it shuts off. And then I have to, check back in on the live. And, everybody, most of the time, we're knee deep in great conversation. And then all of a sudden, that crap happens. So
Yeah.
we were just finishing up on our Kanye West, Candace Owens conversation. And now we're moving into our next topic at the 1 hour mark.
Which is
This happened recently, and it you sent that to me because
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it,
Mhm.
and I was just like, wow, just totally
It's
hurt by
outrageous.
it. Yeah, totally hurt by it.
You want me to take it or?
Yeah, go to the mock audition down here.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Isn't it?
oh,
Yeah.
well, to switch out screen.
Oh, over here. I got you. My bad.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, then I have to blow it up soon. All right. God damn it. All right, there we go. So
Yeah.
let's full
So-
screen that a little.
We're gonna aim the cameras on Instagram to you guys so you can see this. This is if you hadn't seen it in the news, we're making you
Check
aware
this
of it.
out.
This is really what Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking is about because this here is an issue. This is a really bad issue, and it needs to be addressed.
So I'll just use the arrows.
Yeah.
So, in Yuba City, California, about an hour north of Sacramento, California, it says that a shocking video shows California high school football players hold deeply offensive mock slave auction of 3 of their black teammates, prompting school to cancel the rest of the football season. A video of the incident showed the high schoolers auctioning 3 of their undressed black teammates during an offensive locker room stunt. It is unacceptable and requires us to look honestly and deeply at issues of systemic racism, said the school superintendent. River Valley High School's football team has canceled the rest of its season, and the players in the video have been suspended and may face further disciplinary action. Now, do they mean the players who were playing the slaves, or do they mean the guys
team.
maybe the entire team?
If they're none of them playing, if none of them are going to play, you
Yeah, right. Everybody should be
'cause,
shut
I mean,
down.
look how many people were in there.
Oh, yeah, the room was full.
Yeah.
We gonna press play.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's end this shit if
just-
it's already playing.
yeah.
Video contains images that some viewers may find upsetting.
Whose children are this?
That's as high as it's gonna get. Ain't no telling what they were saying,
Apologizing after students attending.
but so let's see. Let's read through it. I mean, I basically just ran through all of that, but let's see. A California high school football team has canceled the rest of its season after video emerged of some of its players running a mock slave auction featuring several of their black teammates. The shocking video showed members of River Valley High School's football team in Yuba City carrying out the locker room frat boy-esque stunt, which featured 3 black team members and their underwear being screamed at by their teammates in the locker room. In a written statement delivered to CNN, Yuba City Unified School District Superintendent Doreen Asumi called the behavior of the boys deeply offensive and disgraceful. The recording clearly demonstrates that this situation was orchestrated and organized, which underscores my concern that students spent time contemplating this terrible act without the slightest regard that this action is hateful and hurtful, she said.
Let's go back real quick.
What we going to?
We're going up to the part where it says stunt.
Stunt. Yeah.
Frat boy-esque Now that in itself, frat boy, it's like a burlesque.
That kind of does. They said it carrying out. Let's see. River Valley High School's football team in Yuba City carrying out the locker room frat boy-esque stunt.
That's horrible.
It does sound like they're kind of downplaying it a bit with that language.
Absolutely, because you know it's the thing of, oh, that's what they do in fraternities. You know, this is fraternity behavior. You know, man, let me tell you something, man. That's why I ain't got kids.
I can't wait to touch on that. Because I have a really huge. We didn't really get to touch on it. I forget we were talking about 2 or 3 shows ago, whenever it was. But this is something that I really hold near and dear to me, just as far as our new generation. And let's we're gonna see these pictures. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I mean, I could read through that. So they may have thought that this skit was funny, but it is not. It is unacceptable and requires us to look honestly and deeply at issues of systemic racism. Reenacting a slave sale as a prank tells us that we have a great deal of work to do with our students so they can distinguish between intent and impact. When students find humor in something that is so deeply offensive, it tells me that we have an opportunity to help them expand their mindset to be more aware, thoughtful, and considerate of others, she added. The team members identified in the unfortunate and extremely distressing incident video were immediately suspended for the remainder of the season for violating the school's student-athlete code of conduct and may face additional disciplinary consequences. And you can kind of see it. This is a still shot of the video. We got these young brothers up here, man, in their underwear, you know, like on Roots.
And they're on the actual block too. They got them actually on a block.
Well, I think those are scales. It looks like. Yeah, those are like scales in the locker room. They had them standing up on it, which, I mean, it might as well. It's the same concept. You know what I'm saying? We'll scroll down a little more. This shit's acting stupid. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Look at this kid, man. And
it's almost homoerotic in a sense too.
I mean, it's always homoerotic in the fucking locker room. That's my opinion. That's why I didn't get into school sports with these niggas. But we'll talk about that. It says members of the team who participated in the offensive joke were immediately suspended. The team's season, so they shut down the whole team season. Because now they don't have enough players to compete in league games. Not because everybody fucked up, but because now we don't have enough players to play.
Right.
Come on, man. Working to identify lessons. Okay, so it says the school superintendent, Doreen Asumi, said the district is working to identify lessons and programs to help our student body learn from this situation. I think that's a good enough place to leave it off at, because I actually I have some knowledge for this arena, man. And what's being taught to our children. Not just not all children. It is all children, but I really want to focus on what's being done to black children in the modern school curriculum in the United States. The issue that we have here is that these schools are smearing and whitewashing actual black history. Mm-hmm. Any attention to actual black history.
Yeah. It's the whole critical race theory thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're completely getting rid of, the curriculum on slavery, the curriculum on civil rights is even being contorted. The issue with this, when you take a people's history, that is a generational attack, multi-generational attack. Let's be clear about that. Mm-hmm. Welcome, my brother. It's a multi-generational attack, man, that, we've seen this many times in history. I think the Mongolian Empire is a great example. Mm-hmm. We're talking about my nigga Genghis Khan was running through everything and destroying these towns, burning down their libraries, destroying their textbooks and raping their women, raping the children, killing the men. And you're deleting legacy, deleting history, deleting lineage, mm-hmm. all in all. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially what's happening to Black America in a somewhat softcore fashion, because there isn't any actual physical warfare. But this is a type of warfare. Mm-hmm. Because look at our children, man. We got, and I know this personally, I'm not gonna say anybody out loud, but I know multiple young black men and women, I have to beg them to read. Mm-hmm. They don't want to read. Mm-hmm. We were getting killed before for knowing how to spell our own names.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just killed, I mean, let's lynched. We're getting drugged and
For being able to write
burned
and read.
alive at the stake for
being able to
learning
write and read.
learning how to write your name out.
Mm-hmm.
For knowing where you are geographically, you can get killed. Or lynched. Let me make sure that the terminology is as effective as possible. So bearing that is the old reality now translated into the new reality. Now our children don't want to read. They don't want to go to the libraries. They're not studying and understanding and receiving information on their own actual history. They don't even a lot of the younger kids don't even know that this is what we once went through, or they don't know of the things that we once went through here in America. They're now masking it as a form of indentured servitude. In some of the textbooks that I've read from McGraw-Hill, let's be clear about these punk ass book companies. McGraw-Hill's one of those textbook companies. They're putting in there that the slaves came over to help.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, I remember when that hit the news 6 years ago.
And guess what? Nothing was done about it.
Right.
There were cases and, people made noise, but it got drowned out of the national news very quickly. Because the intent is to do exactly what I just stated. That shit is a form of warfare. And it's fucking up the minds of our children. This all-inclusive mindset, which I'm not against. However, I am against beating the all-inclusive mindset into the minds of a people who are actually not being included. And when I say they're not being included, I mean they're not being included politically. They're not being included systemically. They're not being included financially. They're not being included in any form or fashion that actually benefits them and their community. It's fucked up. It's more than fucked up. I honestly, I don't think anyone can find the most appropriate words to accurately express what it is that's going on and how it's affecting our people. Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
this is a format. Them niggas, they probably, let me fix my language a little bit for for this issue, but they probably genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I saw it for a long time coming.
Yeah,
at the age that I'm at, I saw it in my 30s because, unfortunately, when you're dealing with a community that uplifts certain types of things as the main important thing for them to be concerned with, there will be a lack of self. There will be a lack of understanding in regards to pride. And the black community has never had a real community.
Agreed.
You go to any city. This was something that, I don't know if you had saw this, but there was a video clip that's actually going around. It's this brother. He's a Christian brother, but he basically broke down in one of his videos that if every city you go to, you look for Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, and there's black people. Now, the argument that people were making was like, well, my neighborhood of Martin Luther King, it's a upstanding
Typically, it's a
neighborhood.
slum.
Right, or there's a slum.
Typically.
But their argument was that it's a nice Martin Luther King Boulevard Jr. And some people, Junior Boulevard, some people were saying, well, are there black people there? Because that's the defining measure of knowing where black people are at. In every city, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. You don't see white people unless they're gentrifying, staying on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
And very often, during the gentrification process, streets are renamed.
Yes.
Streets
absolutely.
are renamed and restructured.
So it's a matter of time before those names will be taken down. And the problem with this whole situation is that it's not even a thing of, we can go back to the household because children are raising children.
Yeah.
So
not only, I want to add on to that, not only are children raising children, the uninformed are leading the uninformed,
Absolutely.
or the blind are leading the blind.
Absolutely. So gone are a lot of our patriarchs, right? Gone are a lot of our matriarchs that would tell us there's a reason why.
That educated us.
Yeah.
I was educated.
Yeah.
My grandmother, my mother, you know, some of I got to meet my great grandparents on my father's side, man, and they were very serious about maintaining this lineage of knowledge and understanding of what we've been through and what we have to do to get away from it, to build up from that. It's important.
Yeah,
it's imperative. It's not just important. It's imperative.
It was sad to see that, man.
Very. I'm you know, I'm glad that the video was not longer, man. Honestly, that is one of the most embarrassing, you know, and one of the most embarrassing ways to see real life Black, African, or brown people. That's embarrassing. It's painful to see something like that. You know,
and this is why I always talk about media as a huge part, because, you know, when we talk about these films, which is near and dear to my heart because I'm a filmmaker, the message through these films are important as well. So when you look at something like Woman King and they don't discuss that this culture of people were the ones that did the highest slave trading. They were one of the major
highest
contributors.
Of giving their people away.
Yeah, and so then when you look, now we got other films coming out, Emancipation, all this stuff. Anytime you watch these films, they're never really fully what they need to be because
they're not for us.
No.
They're actually against us.
Yeah, because they're not truly educating. Yeah, they may show you some of the horrible essence of slavery, but there's something I was telling somebody today on the phone. We were talking about films, and I was telling them because I have a film that deals with alcoholism in the Black community. Very powerful film. And at one point, Isaiah Washington and Monique was attached to it. It was going to happen. And it fell apart. And he said, well, why do you think no one wants to put money behind it? And I said, because there are redemptive themes at the end of the film.
And so that ties into what I wanted to say. I think Roots is the perfect example. As far back as Roots in the that was the 60s, right?
No, 70s. 1976.
That was the first one?
Yeah. 1976.
Because the gift was like 77.
Yeah.
I guess so. Okay, so
it was a Christmas special. The gift was a Christmas special.
Yeah. So as far back as Roots, the trope that is always existent in these Black, I'm gonna call them Black horror films, is there's always a white savior. You know, that was either the first or the second episode, but when they're on the ship, this motherfucker done went through the process of picking the ones that he wanted, getting the big ass ship, rounded up. He done spent the money, but he's a preacher's son. He's so sad. He can't believe that they're doing this. Nigga, it was your money. White nigga, let's be clear about that. It was the white not sailor, the captain of the ship. You know, nigga, you put all of the money up.
Yeah.
But that's the bullshit games that they play with us psychologically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Throughout history, slavery has been the rule. Freedom is the exception. All right.
Even right now, systematically.
Yeah.
Most of us are not free.
Yeah.
Most of us don't get to wake up when we want to wake up.
Yeah.
We don't get to pick and choose, you know, in an overarching fashion when we go and work and how we spend our time.
When do I go out of town?
I was just breaking down to one of the people really close to me in my personal circle the other day. You know, this person is working 14 hours in total. And when I say working, I mean from the time that they get up, have to get dressed, don't really get to eat breakfast, travel to work, the commute, the hours at work, then to get the commute back home, doesn't even have 10 hours left. You have to sleep at least 6 of those 10 hours.
To rest.
So now you got 4 hours. You ain't spent no personal time. You ain't cleaned up your spot yet. You ain't ate. You ain't showered. None of that shit. Ain't none of that happened yet. And you got 4 hours. 4 hours. That's your whole personal life is 4 hours a day. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Kashu Kuro Sniper said, "You are in charge if the choice is made."
I agree with that. However, again, we're not talking about something that people openly know and openly understand. This is a system that children have been taught since elementary school, even preschool. You have to go to school for this amount of hours. You got to be up. You got to be, for some schools it's uniform. Some schools there's dress codes. This is your homework when you get out of work. This is embedded in people. They don't know that they really have the option to say, fuck you, I'm going home. If everybody did that even for an hour, the entire financial system would shut down. It wouldn't even take an hour.
We had a movement several times.
Before you continue, understand that I'm saying that they genuinely don't know. That's why that's important, because they really don't know.
And I would say that's a certain section of the population for sure. But there were movements several times in which, we would have a Blackout Friday and people would laugh and say, no, that's not something that we should do. What do you think we need to start saying to people so that stuff like this doesn't happen? Because if we can't reach them through media, which would be films and or
we don't have full control over the media that is
right.
Popularized.
Not through books, because they're not reading or the schools are not teaching. What do you think? Is it that we have to get more into the kids themselves?
Yeah, we have to actually take our time and dive back into the community. You know my personal life, man. I give back as much as I can, and not just to the children in our community, to the adults as well, because we all need healing.
Yeah,
we all need healing, and even more importantly, I believe we all need guidance. You know how many people I've sat down and, like I was saying earlier about watching the news, like, nigga, you don't have to watch the news, bro. I guarantee you, don't watch news for a week. Your life's not going to change.
Yeah.
It is not going to change. The only important thing that I got out of the news in the last 3 years was that there were going to be stimulus checks. Nothing else really affected me. The whole pandemic, all of that none of that shit affected me, dude, because I wasn't watching it. I didn't care. The biggest issue that I ran into was I couldn't go to Walmart after 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Everything else in my life was normal because I chose not to care. I don't have to pay attention to all of this shit. It doesn't stress me out. What stresses me out now, getting a little more personal, is I make great friends everywhere that I go, and I'm watching them and seeing how they're pained and dealing with the bullshit that they deal with, just by including themselves in the things that they think or feel that they have to do every day, and you just don't. It is 100% your choice. But it's hard to go and tell somebody, hey, man, you don't have to listen to the news. And the looks that I get, the reactions that I get. What are you talking about?
I gotta know what's going on.
Nigga, 90% of what happens on the news never actually fully affects any of us.
Well,
that's hard to get across to people.
It's a show in itself.
Yeah,
it is. That's why they call it media.
Yeah,
it is propaganda, and it is a show in itself. Nomadic Nobody said the system produces an obedient workforce, but in America, you have the greatest opportunity to break free and be your own boss and achieve your dreams. What do you think about that?
One more time? Sorry about that.
The system produces an obedient workforce, but in America, you have the greatest opportunity to break free and be your own boss and achieve your dreams.
So this is what I want to say about that, because one of the biggest discrepancies between Americans and foreigners, right? The foreigners who move here, immigrants, American immigrants. A lot of Americans spend time looking to figure out, how is it that this family that immigrated here to where we have been struggling for generations and have been as accomplished as they have in such a small amount of time, because they weren't raised on this system and this shit wasn't beaten into their head.
Yeah,
even to waste their time.
Yeah, that, and they also, a lot of them receive grants.
Subsidies are important as well. Or subsidies play a huge part as well. They're a key part. But I'm saying just the mindset is completely different.
Yeah. They see
The mindset's absolutely different.
they see things totally different because from where they come from, the opportunities are not what they are here.
Yeah.
So they definitely see things totally different in that regards. So there is truth to what you're saying, Nomadic, but there are also those exceptions to the rule.
Always.
And so back to what we're talking about with this, here at Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking, there's always the discord and the discussion of the situation and the problem, but there has to be some form of resolution. And I say for all those who are paying attention, that there has to be a personal accountability in regards to yourself to want to make sure that, that's what bothered me so much when everybody was like, oh, I took all my kids to go see the Woman King. We were so empowered. And it's like the only thing you're getting from that form of empowerment is feminine empowerment. How can a young boy get empowered by the Woman King?
Well, I want to say this because we talked about this the other day, and this is one of my favorite statements that's out there right now. Tons of representation.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Shit ton of representation. Video games, crime movies, crime shows, black horror films, superhero movies, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
black history, if you will. Tons of representation.
Mm-hmm.
However, zero reparations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's something that Malcolm X talked about, and I'm going to have to paraphrase again because I got terrible memory, but, I'm working. The Novocaine that we receive systematically, the Novocaine that we receive on a grand scale through the media, the representation that we're receiving today is another form of Novocaine. It shuts us up.
Absolutely.
Well, at least we got a superhero movie.
Yeah.
This is what, again, I'm never telling anybody not to go do any of these things, not to enjoy yourself, not to indulge. I personally don't give a fuck about them because they're not actually helping me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not helping me go out and get into these communities and teach these children about finances, teach them about self-defense, teach them about managing their social maturity and emotional discipline.
Self-importance. Mm-hmm.
These are the things that matter. We're not getting any of those things from representation. We haven't received any of those things from Black Lives Matter or any of the other bullshit carrots that we get dangled in front of us. It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
We don't get any of that shit.
Yeah.
But this is what everybody's worried about, representation. Well, at least there was a black princess who was a frog. You know what I'm saying? At least there was Woman King.
Right.
But these people actually kind of, expedited our demise. But we're not going to pay attention to any of that. Psychologically, young boys are seeing that this is what women are doing, is being warriors when we need our young men to be warriors to actually protect our community. Because we're at a stage, man. I can run on and on. Everybody gets what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about in regards to this previous clip. These young men are standing up there. Where's your pride? Where's your pride? And I think a lot of times, see, in the 90s, in the early to mid 90s, that whole African movement, I knew was dangerous. Everybody walking around wearing Africa. I'm like, what's wrong with representing what we did here?
Because they didn't know. So even at that time, we're talking about multiple, over 100 times, a form of Black Wall Street showed up that we created, but was decimated, eviscerated, completely destroyed. We don't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Most of us don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
It's very problematic.
Yeah.
So it was the same then as it is now.
Yeah.
That's why we could watch some of those documentaries from the 1920s, 1910s, the 1930s and 1940s, and they're documenting what it is that's going on in the Black community. Why is it that we were the only ones targeted for that?
Yeah. Well, they knew what we were.
How are we the science project?
Yeah, right. That's a good phrase.
Why are we the guinea pigs?
Yeah. Yeah.
So many documentaries.
Well, hold on. Let me add to that.
Well, just over
America.
the last century.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm not disagreeing at all. America could not move forward without Black power.
At all.
When it comes to invention,
the Black dollar.
when it comes to the Black dollar, when it
the
comes
Black mind.
to the Black mind, when it comes to the soul of who we are as a people, America, and that's why I always tell people when you go to other countries, you realize the contribution that Black Americans. I'm not talking about the Black diaspora of people who are African and all that stuff. No, because their movement is current. Their movement is current in medicine and in science and in film and media and stuff like that. Their movement is current now, but in our time here, it's been the Black American movement, not African American. I don't use that word. I don't use that phrase. I use Black American. I'm a Black American, and I'm proud of my country and what my ancestors have done here.
Now, not this episode, but I'm gonna educate you on the term Black as well.
Yeah, I know Black just means more. Yeah.
It means nothing.
It's just
in America legally it means nothing.
It's just a description.
It's unfortunate.
It's just a description.
It's not just a description when it's on legal documents.
Right, and
we'll get into that.
Yeah, and I understand that.
We don't have the time to talk about it now.
And I understand that, but that's what I've rationalized it to, because there has to be some form of description. I'm an American, but I'm a Black man, and there's pride in that description of who I am.
So I was going to say, as far as the term, it's something that we can weaponize because many of us identify with it. It doesn't have to always go to the legal level. It just has to be among us in our community. 100%. If that's something that we all identify, that's a tool we can use. Now it's an apparatus.
I agree. So that's with that. Okay, we're at the last 30-minute mark. Again, you are watching Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking, the CMCT show. Our call-in is 404-997-2188, 404-997-2188. Thank you for those who have joined us so far and have been watching the show. Hopefully you've been learning a lot about what's been going on, the Discord and discussion and conversation that we've been having. You got somebody on your side?
Yeah, I got a couple comments here.
Okay, we're going to pick up those comments.
So we got Later Muse, the humanization of a white savior, and I believe she was commenting back when I was talking about that trope in all of our demise films. Humanization of a white savior makes us feel bad for the real villains. Even now, winners write the history. If it's true or false, is up for us to find out.
Good one, Lay.
And then a good friend of mine, man. I made friends with this dude in about 10 minutes at the Total Wine in Sacramento, man. He's a solid dude. He says the history is written by the winners, brother. I feel what you are saying. Keep on sharing the knowledge. Winners win and losers lose. You are speaking the truth. Say it like you feel it. And then he says the marketplace of ideas, family, and community.
Yep.
Straight up. And then last one by Later Muse. He says study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman need, that not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of the truth. That's Timothy 2:15. Says she doesn't consider herself a Christian. However, a great point is made there.
Yeah, it's knowledge.
And lastly, she says our people don't want to study much of anything.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what you're saying. They just don't know.
Yeah. And then just how convenient everything is, you know. There's no urge to even there's no way for them to really even fall upon any of this information because they don't have to go look for anything. You know, the amount of people, I say this all the time, there's idiots on Facebook who's hiring as a status. Nigga, you got Google, you got on Facebook. When you could have went and got on Google, there's a shit ton of job sites. Where do they sell tires? Google Maps, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You on your phone, man. You know, so but that's how lazy technology makes humans. And I have a huge theory about that. We actually might have to talk about that on either
another
Tuesday
show.
or Thursday. Yeah. My theory on what technology does to humans and how many human resets has the evolution of technology caused.
Yeah, you're talking some serious stuff there because it gets deep.
Yeah, that'll be a great subject for another time. Somebody in the comments, please remind me. A nigga ain't got no memory. You know what I'm saying?
I'll remember. We done with this topic, or we should?
I mean, look, nobody, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I've said my piece.
All right. Nomadic Nobody, thank you for chiming in on that. You know, to say that the immigrants had it far worse.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Because trauma and pain are relative.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
So although, like I said earlier, that's why I called that out. no, this is not physical warfare, but it's mental.
Yeah.
It's
Spiritual.
systemic.
Yeah,
it's
spiritual,
definitely
yeah.
spiritual. So it's still an attack on your person.
And your descendants.
100%.
Because that's what they do. You know, the Syphilis Project it went on for a long time.
Yeah.
It wasn't just 1 year. It was like, oh, this is
decades,
gonna,
bro.
yeah, you know. And so when you have you heard of Robert Smalls? He escaped slavery, stole a ship, and became a governor. I would love to see a biopic about him.
I'd love to dig into that. I think I have heard something of that.
Yeah,
before.
I think they're doing that. Isn't that what emancipation is about? I
didn't look into it because I don't give a fuck.
I think
about
emancipation
the movie,
is about that. I don't know. You need to check emancipation and tell me if that's what that story is about. Because that's what emancipation is. I know Antoine Fuqua. He tends to make films that are relatively raw and to the point. So he's also doing the Shaka Zulu one as well. So
that's dope.
Yeah, we'll see, man. The problem becomes the translation of the film to the audience. And so if they're not going to read, if they're not, the thing about Roots is it came on television.
It was, and
it was an
huge.
epic event.
They were shutting down schools for multiple reasons why they were shutting down schools. White people was getting their ass whooped.
Yeah. People
but
show up.
Also, so that students could go and watch it at home.
And watch it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were very serious about that.
Yeah. See, back in my day, we had what was called the Encyclopedia Britannica. You unless you went to the library, unless you got up and went to the library, which was a valuable resource. I mean, to get a library card was free.
Yeah.
As long as you brought the books back, you never had to come out the pocket.
Most libraries are actually still free.
Yeah. And you were taught in school how to read the bibliography, so that way you could find what you were looking for. I spent so much time at libraries. And it was great to sit there and just read books until it was time to close. And so I think that needs to be reinstated. I remember
when I was a kid, and probably for you too, going to the school library. We had certain days out of the week. Like that was an on-campus field trip.
Oh, yeah.
We get to go to the library, nigga. I get to
get out of class.
Get a book?
Yeah,
what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I took it upon myself because I just always had a love for history, and so going to the library, I learned a lot of different things. So yeah, Nomadic Nobody. I think that's what that story is about. We are going to move on here in the last couple of minutes of the show.
So what else we got?
More.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so now what we're going to be talking about is something that happened. I think it happened on Tuesday.
Really, just over this last 2 weeks, bro.
This happened October 5th. Yesterday it was, but it happened Tuesday.
That was posted, but this was
happened Tuesday.
Earlier in the week. I heard it during the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, during the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was during the weekend.
All right. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually. So what happens when you have 4 divorces from celebrities in one day?
Oh, excuse me.
That establishes a conversation. 4 divorces in one day. 4. And of course, like we were saying, we could care less about celebrities. I mean, I think this situation that happened with Tia Mowry, that affected a lot of people because it's like what my girl Jaleesa said today when she posted it. She says, I hate hearing stuff like that because I love black love.
I agree with that. That was my only really issue with it when I heard about it.
Yeah, they were married for 14 years. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. They were married for 14 years, and Tia and Corey Hardick. And due to irreconcilable differences, it was Tuesday. Tuesday's when all this stuff happened. Irreconcilable differences, they got divorced. But they weren't the only ones. It was Tia Mowry and Corey Hardick, and then Miguel and his wife, after 3 years of marriage, citing that word again, irreconcilable differences. And then Mr. Brady. Okay. Tom Brady and his wife, Giselle, they called it quits. And I don't know if that was irreconcilable differences. And then another couple, I guess I've never really heard of this couple, but Jared and Ayanna. Okay. And they said Love is Blind 2. Love is Blind. I guess that's the TV show. And they got divorced as well. So it's just wild to see that in one day you will have, is there something behind it? There's always something behind it. I would say check the dates if you're into gematria to find out what's going on. Because remember, to me, all media is distraction. I've learned that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why I don't watch the damn news.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have your own thought process and the way you see things. But all media is a distraction.
What's going on, Pam?
But it's very interesting to see stuff like that happen. Excuse me. So for me, when I saw this, I was just like, wow, this is interesting. The question that I have, and we're going to talk about this for the last part of the show.
Okay.
What is irreconcilable differences? Because majority
Legally?
of these people claim that.
So we're saying legally?
Well, just as a phrase.
Well, I would say let's look up the legal terminology of it first.
Sure.
Actually, first, I'm not a fan of Bing. You won't have to excuse me.
Don't hate Bing.
Bing is trash. Anybody out there that's searching with Bing, you know what I'm saying? Get your life together, baby.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Michael-san.
Let me see that real quick.
Yes, sir. The Undisputed E said, I don't believe in coincidences. That's part of the industry controlling them. You're right.
Yep.
True that, mainstream media. That's right, Michael-san. Hi, he says. Yep. How you doing, Tyrone Betters? Thanks for coming in.
Legal dictionary, irreconcilable differences. So the legal definition, and there are a couple, it seems. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Irreconcilable differences. The existence of significant differences between a married couple that are so great and beyond resolution as to make the marriage unworkable and for which the law permits a divorce. A divorce premised on the ground of irreconcilable differences is considered a no-fault divorce since there is no need to establish that one party is more responsible or at fault for the end of the marriage than the other. Now, the usual basis for granting a divorce dissolution in no-fault divorce states, if one party says the marriage is irretrievable and refuses to reconcile, then such differences are proved to exist. So, basically, she like pineapple on her pizza, and I don't, and I keep telling her to stop ordering that shit for dinner, and she keeps ordering it, so now we don't fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? But so for rich people, man, because we know a lot of these relationships in the industry are orchestrated.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
They're just for, what the fuck do you call it?
Set up your appearances.
Appearances.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Me too, Amasia. Me too. So that being said, these people, are they really getting divorced? Were they ever really married? Like, personally, were they ever really married?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know that marriage is a contract in the essence of it. Marriage is a contract. And we talked about this on our monogamy show.
Yep.
Corey went on his Instagram and said, look, I didn't cheat, so don't think it was about cheating. So then why can't you stay with her then? What's the problem? If
she filed for the divorce, not him.
Right. So why can't she stay with him? What's the problem?
That's a great question.
You know what I mean? And so biblically, there's only 3 reasons for divorce: abandonment, abuse, and sexual immorality. You know what I mean? Those are the only three reasons. But America and the current state of the world, people, they get divorced because of irreconcilable differences.
Brother.
That can be, you kick the dog and I can't get over it.
So this is what Eric said that Tom Brady sacrificed. Why you call that nigga Tommy? He said Tommy Brady sacrificed his relationship for the Super Bowl this year. That's interesting.
I mean,
because I did see a couple of things on that. They were saying like whatever their situation was, he would rather be at the Super Bowl. He's damn near 50. He'd rather be at the Super Bowl, be getting his body banged up than dealing with
her,
whatever it is he's got going on at home.
Her,
which we don't know how true that. At the end of the day, again, this is speculation, and I'm saying that for jokes, but we have no idea what it is that's actually going on between these people that they're having these kind of problems. Again, we don't know if these are real personable relationships or if these are industry organized relationships. We have no idea.
Yeah. Michael said, man was he was dumb in a one-sided marriage. Don't forget selfishness. Yeah, selfishness, but selfishness is abandonment, Michael. Yeah. Selfishness is abandonment.
But how do we know how their personal time is actually spent? We can't itemize. We don't know at all. We can never itemize a celebrity's time or their life and what it is that they're doing.
No, we don't know at all.
We really don't know.
Yeah,
even that's a bit of conjecture to say.
But okay, so my point is, what does this say about society? Like
society, like
4 divorces in one day.
What is the word? Frivolous, right? We're seeing that marriage is treated as such a frivolous item to commit to. Mm. I don't think that has anything to do with the actual relationships, and I kind of want to talk to or speak to this. The people who I know that have been together for who knows how long, and I think you brought this up before for some of your friends. There are tons of couples out there who've been together 30, 40 years. Mm-hmm. Even 10, 15, 20 years and never went and got married.
Yeah.
Why? I think, and this is for me personally because, I've been through a divorce and everything, and I thought that our interaction was going great, but something about, and this is my personal belief, something about that term puts a lot more pressure on an already working relationship.
Marriage.
Because a marriage is whatever you guys commit to begin with. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be on paper. It doesn't make it any more true. Mm-hmm. The ceremony don't make it any more true. The rings don't make it any more true. It's what you two agree to. Mm-hmm. That is all that matters. Nothing else does.
Do you think there's a correlation between what I always say about building, like in all relationships you have to build, with people who just decide they don't, that equally yoked thing, they're not in the same.
I mean, I don't even think that matters. Mm-hmm. We're just talking about the institution of marriage. Mm-hmm. Going and getting that paper so now we can say, look, we're married, or now we're legally married.
Is a pressure thing.
It puts a lot of pressure on people because of the whatever it is that they believe the reality of that to be. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily true. Your relationship was already a fucking marriage. Y'all been living together 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. You don't think you're married?
Let's look up the definition of marriage, because I think that will help people have a little bit more clarity, because I think a lot of people don't really understand what that is.
Say the marriage. Okay, hold on. Let me actually just look up marriage. Okay, so the legal definition, this is on the Free Dictionary by Farlex. It's a legal dictionary website. Let's click that. So, marriage, the legal status, and let's be very, because I am about getting definitive. The legal status, condition, or relationship that results from a contract by which one man and one woman who have the capacity to enter into such an agreement mutually promise to live together in the relationship of husband and wife in law for life or until the legal termination of the relationship. So, two people of sound mind and body come together and say, you know what I'm saying, we doing this. That's basically what it means.
And that's always my issue. It's like, what are we doing? Because I know a lot of guys that they'll come and tell me, man, she put this thing on me talking about where is this going? What are we doing?
Right.
And that's where I think people get in trouble because they don't specify what we need to do. And that's why I'm always about, like, if you say the contract is consistent, is about building what? Building each other mentally, spiritually, financially, in that regards, right?
So let's. I just want to dive a little bit deeper into the definition,
Sure.
because I think it kind of plays into what you're speaking on. It says marriage is a legally sanctified contract between a man and a woman, and everyone has to understand what a contract is. It's an agreement on paper that it can be legal just to the two of you. Everyone in the United States has a right to contract. So whatever these contracts are, even professionally, I'm not telling you to go and stir up no trouble at your jobs or any of that shit, but you all have the right to contract. You need to go and study the Constitution, study the Bill of Rights, and the Articles of Confederation. Anyway, marriage is a legally sanctioned contract between a man and a woman. Entering into a marriage contract changes the legal status of both parties, giving husband and wife new rights and obligations. Public policy is strongly in favor of marriage based on the belief that it preserves the family unit. Traditionally, marriage has been viewed as vital to the preservation of morals and civilization.
Interesting.
The preservation of civilization.
Yeah.
I think morals just plays into that.
Well, that's why.
Morals
that's
is
why.
What the fuck is the word?
It's kind
A
of
product of that.
It's kind of why the founding fathers, like, they were not Christian men. The founding fathers of America, they were actually Luciferians. But in that respect, they used the Judeo-Christian values in order to have the preservation of morals and civilization. Because if people are following morals, then they're following law. It's
United States, of course, and that comes from the Roman Empire.
Absolutely. Which the reason why they fell was because they were immoral.
American law is all Roman law.
Yes. And so with that being said, the legal status of both parties. The contract changes the legal status of both parties. That's funny.
They're no longer an individual.
Right. And that goes into what we were talking about as far as the contracts that, you know, the ship, what do you call it? The entities that we are to. Yes, right? So that's something that's considered to that, because even with taxes, now you have all these other different things that is part of that.
Yep. And which we honestly have 7 minutes left, so I don't think we have the time for us to really dig into that. But I would love to.
Yeah. Eventually, just have a show. Yeah.
Sure.
Larry Banks said, "To death do us part." You're absolutely right. For some people that works, but for some people they don't put up with that shit.
Hence the divorce and the legally sanctioned contract. What it means in layman's terms to have the right to contract is you can create a contract at any point. You also have the right to pull away from any contract at any point. I don't have to agree with this agreement anymore. I can now disagree and walk away.
So with that being said, people that invest, because I'm very big on not doing a lot of, I don't do a lot of events and stuff in marriage, like, because I always look at it as like, why go waste my time if this ain't gonna work out, right? There's very few weddings that I go to. I mean, I was supposed to have been to a wedding last weekend, but I just couldn't make it. But, to see that it's that easy for people to just up and go, like, what does that say about society now? Because, 4 in a day, right? Which, obviously they're receiving attention because of celebrities, but people get divorced all the time.
Oh yeah, every day. What's the? There's a statistic on that. God damn it! It's about to be Bing.
Take it.
Divorce facts. Yeah. So in the United States, there is one divorce approximately every 36 seconds.
Jesus. The average
and that's
length
from 2012.
The average length of a first marriage that ends in divorce is 8 years. I don't think that's fact.
Well, this is also 2012.
Oh.
See, now this is the issue, because when you use Bing, you get bullshit results like that. Let's see how Google does. Probably excellent. Divorce
Almost.
statistics and facts. What affects divorce rates? Blah, blah, blah. 2022. Let's see. Divorce rate in America is 2.9 per 1,000 currently. That was 2022, right?
Yeah.
2022. This was updated just last April. God damn it. Recent divorce rates suggest a decrease in the number of people dissolving their marriage. So that's a good thing. Says that the divorce rate has increased since 1960, but since 1990, because now we're kind of balancing out, those 4 being highlighted may not be the actual reality.
I just think people aren't getting married.
Right?
I
think that's what this is going to clear up.
Yeah.
So let's see. The divorce rate has increased since 1960, but since 1990, there has been a downward trend in divorce statistics. This suggests divorce rates over time are changing drastically, as are marriage and cohabitation trends. By assessing the divorce rate statistics by year, it's easy to see that the rate of divorce in the U.S. is on a general decline. So the divorce rate is going down. And that's a good thing. More people in the U.S. were married in 2018 than in 1960. There are plenty of reasons for that, because we don't know. Whatever. That's more conjecture. We'll talk about that another time. Over 750,000 divorces took place in the U.S. in 2017.
That's crazy.
God damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, in 2017, approximately 787,251 divorces were granted in America, which means I was one of those.
That was your year?
That it finally like actually processed, yeah. But anyway, which means that around 1.5 million people got divorced that year. As the national divorce rates continue to fall, it's likely that the number of divorces in the U.S. per year will continue to fall in the future. So it is. Oh damn! I mean, we got 3 minutes left. You know what I'm saying? We over here reading this shit, so I'm gonna need y'all 2 niggas to stop arguing in my comments. Act godly, please, because we are black people and we love one another. Any event, this has been an excellent show.
Let's
with
address
3 minutes to go.
Let's.
Oh, that's later music, Eric. I put these 2 niggas on each other, but that's
all right, got it. Okay, got it. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Man, your relationship is your fucking business and your responsibility, which means you have to take accountability for who and what it is that you are, so that your relationship can benefit.
Okay. Final thoughts to anyone who's considering a divorce, since you've been down that path.
That's up to you. I can't say, because I don't know what their relationship is like. For some it's worth it, for some it's not. That's up to them. Again, I believe it comes back on self. Have you done all of the work within yourself to be able to truly contribute who and what you actually are to a relationship and a marriage? If you haven't, well, maybe you don't need to be married. You got a lot of work to do. Self-accountability. And that's almost always what it's going to come back to. Yeah. My engineer's in the house with my brother. We about to go ahead and sign off. Thanks for tuning in. I think that does it.
I think that does it too.
Well, guys, let me connect. Technically, I got 2 minutes, so I'm still not off.
Yeah, but at least the YouTube channel will get to hear more of the song.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right.
So let's do it.
All right. Once again, you are tuned in to CMCT. Change your mind, change your thinking. Our show info. Our call in is 404-997-2188. We're almost off the air, but if you get the chance, the ticker is playing, so you can see how you can reach us until next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. God damn it, I turned it down earlier. There's always a hiccup. Muscles on his lonely back. I stay calm, in fact. I've been on the grind so long, hoes could never call me that. Please keep it short. I'm just saying. Rap. I'm yellow candy. Throwing darts and wax. One of those in there is yours. I think it's going to be the one at the top. It's not spicy. Cool. Maybe we can do that. Chapman bring the doses and show you where your shoes at. Exactly where the proof at. I ain't got to prove stats. I don't need the hookup. I can stay blue black. Straight from where